Good evening and welcome to another episode of Confidence Culture Conversations. And today we are on episode 88. Woo! Episode 88. Wow, 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 wow. Um, Anything that needs to come to life requires some consistent action. So, whatever that consistent action is that you need to do, you need to do it so you can bring whatever you need to bring to life. Showing up consistently for myself and Coach Kirubai has meant we are on episode 88 today. So, Coach K, welcome. How are you?
Welcome, Elizabeth. I am doing great and I enjoyed the sun today, and that has made me feel so good. It put me in a nice space today
Oh, that's
after
good.
after many days of having cold spells and mucky weather. I love the day today.
Awesome.
So
Glad to hear that.
I believe that you must have had a very busy week ahead of you
Do you
and
know
busy
what?
days because of the term break, right, Elizabeth?
You keep going.
You keep
You keep
going.
going. You keep going. But yes, it's been a busy one. I've Jana's off school this week, so trying to fill the gaps. Um and also my sister and my nephew are around, so making sure that that the house is entertained and occupied. So we've literally been out most of today, but yeah, excited for whatever is left to happen this week. Last Saturday we had an amazing time at our Dare
Hmm.
to Believe women's prayer breakfast. Oh, it was great, it was great. You missed it. If you were not in the room, you missed it. Coach K, how was it?
It was a great space to be, lovely place,
Mm,
beautiful ambience, wonderful breakfast, and last but not least, the connections that we made with the women.
mm,
Of course, your family was there, but the whole program was sweet. I loved it. I loved it.
amazing.
So I would say again, the next time around, please do join us because it was something awesome and special. I
Mm.
nearly didn't come, but you know what? I'm glad that I came.
I'm glad you came.
So met some
I'm
new
so
people
glad you came.
and connecting with them, praying for each other. I think that was really good, having
Mm,
the right energy in the room
that's
because we
it.
all came to take away something.
Mm,
And the minister who shared the word, I love the way she unpacked the word. And it was so amazing. For life, it will be with me. For life, it
awesome.
will be with me. I just forget. Her name slips me.
Ria.
Ria.
Ria
Yeah.
Dale.
It was amazing. Speaking about Deborah and how she had she was an audacious woman with an audacious faith, and she was a warrior, but she
Mm,
also had to connect and collaborate with the other three people, Barak, Jael,
mhm.
and who am I missing?
It was the three of them. So it was
Oh, yeah,
Deborah,
Deborah,
Jael, and Barak.
Jael, and Barak. So, yeah, it's collaboratively fighting the war
Mm,
against the enemy. And that was amazing. How she
absolutely.
broke it down. Mm,
Mm. No, do you know what? It was a different perspective.
yes, that's right.
It's a different perspective, and just being able to see the journey from going to a place of oppression to then going to a place of victory,
Prosperity. Yeah.
and prosperity. And I think one of the things that was really highlighted and really stood out was this collaboration, isn't it? And
Mm, mm,
it
mm.
fits in very well to what we're talking about today, because one of our questions today is about the having the right
People,
people.
people. Yes, that's right.
So that positions it very well, because the things that God has called us to do, or the dream that you have on your heart, is going to require people. It's going to require people, and it's either the people that you need to impact, or the people that need to take away from what you are delivering so that they can go and create further impact. Like it's a chain. There's a chain reaction. Like what's that game? That game where you drop one thing and everything keeps on dropping.
Dominos.
That's it. That's it. That's it. It's like that. And I think life is like that a lot in terms of a domino effect. Like something impacts you and you impact others.
Mm-hmm.
And when we're talking about dreams, your dream impacts you and it impacts others. Now, just before we go into it, I remember one time listening to, oh gosh, his name has run out of my head. Oh, that's not right. His name has gone out of my head, so I might skip this and come back to it later. Um, Tyler Perry. That's it. Ooh, I
Oh,
listened
okay.
to an interview that Tyler Perry gave one day, and he said in this interview that it was so hard to bring his dream to life. Like he had to jump through many hoops. Like you look at him today, and a lot of people will look at him and they'll admire him, but the pain and the struggle that he has gone through has been very real. So, yes, you
Mhm.
might see a finished work here, but there's been a lot going on behind the scenes to make sure
Process,
that this
yeah.
work is the way it looks. And one of the things he said is that one day somebody who I think she works as a cleaner in the studio literally came to him and said, "Thank you. Thank you for bringing your dream to life, because you bringing your dream to life has meant that I can earn an income to take my kids to school."
Mhm.
And he said that hit different. Like there was like it added a different level of significance to his dream. And I think that's the power of us stepping out to pursue our dreams. Our dreams can impact people beyond us
Mhm.
if we are brave enough, bold enough to confidently step out to pursue those dreams.
So let's start with the people question then.
Might as
Elizabeth?
well. Why not?
Yeah,
Why
yeah,
not?
yeah. Why not? It doesn't matter. It still sums up to the having the people question here, the question that we need to ask ourselves, and
Mm,
also the audience. That have you included the people you need to realize your dream?
yeah.
So this is a quote that I took from the book. Oh, sorry, I said the Bible, the book. So
Yeah.
put your dreams to test. This is the book that we have been unpacking and talking about for the last 3 weeks now.
Mm,
And a dream is a compelling vision you see in your heart that's too big to accomplish without the help of others.
mm,
So, who are the people that around you that can help you
mm,
um, realize your dream? So, one of the one of the one of the first people that we must consider and think about is family and friends. They are the nearest and dearest to you. Maybe it could be your husband, your children, your partner, your parents, your
mm,
siblings, but somebody you can bring along to realize, make the dream come true. Sometimes, in other words, we spoke about this the last week where we said our families might not believe in the dream that you carry. So
mm,
test the waters. Test the waters and see whether they're coming alongside. And if they do come alongside, well and good. Praise the Lord, because you definitely need their support and their strength to carry through this dream that has been birthed in your heart. Let not the dream be just a desired dream, but let
mm.
it come and unfold in reality.
That's it.
So, Elizabeth, one of the things is I know you and I we being mentors and coaches. I'm sure you have helped someone unravel their dream. What are your thoughts about it?
One of the questions I like to ask people in coaching sessions. So when we set a goal or when we say we are working towards something, one of the questions I ask is, whose support do you need? Because no man is an island, no woman is an island. We need each other. Yes, we take personal responsibility, we work on things ourselves, but you have to realize you're going to need somebody. You might need somebody to give you an opportunity, you might need somebody to open a door, you might need somebody to buy, to buy into your dream. You might need somebody to say to say yes to whatever it is you're asking. But just knowing, whose support do I need, especially when you're at the building stage. Whose support do you need as you are building, as you're starting off, as you're bringing it to birth? And I like to use the illustration of being um in like delivering a child, right? You need a team. You need a team of people to help you bring this child out. And it's you might have the support of a partner, and they're encouraging you, they're telling you, yeah, breathe deep breaths, push. You might have your mom, if you like. Whose support do you need? You probably have an obstetrician, you might have a nurse that, like, whose support do you need? So if you are going to bring something to birth, always stop and ask yourself, whose support do I need for this dream to become a reality? Whose support am I going to need? Who do I need in my corner? Who do I need fighting with me? Who do I need to help me hold my hands up as the battle is going on? Like, who am I going to need to help me? And sometimes we don't like asking for help. That's the reality. A lot of people don't like asking for help. But if you want to be successful in any endeavor in life, you have to get comfortable with asking for help. I remember one time listening to somebody teaching, and they were talking about sometimes there'll be times where you have to borrow other people's money to make your dream come to life. So you need somebody's help somewhere, right? So sometimes it might be that you need to watch a video of somebody. I've got my notebooks on Amazon, right? Those notebooks did not just come to life. So this is how it happened. I was delivering some group coaching sessions, and one of the ladies in the group said, "Ooh, I found this video. I went and used the video, and I've created these notebooks, and they're on Amazon." And I was like, "Ooh, oh, okay, let's give it a try." And so she sent the video link, right? She sent the link for the YouTube video. So I was like, "Let me give this a try." I went and watched the link, and I was like, "I can do this." I went on Canva, I created something. I followed step by step what I was told in the video, and then created this journal, this notebook, and I was able to upload it onto Amazon, and it's available for people to buy. And the other day I ordered some, and I had some in my hand, and I'm like, "Ooh, this is it." Now, that did not come to life by itself. I didn't wish it into being. There was steps that I needed to follow. There was somebody's help I needed. Like, if she hadn't mentioned it and I hadn't seen this video, I might still be here struggling, thinking, how do I go about this? But she spoke about it. I was intrigued. I was curious. I watched the video, which, guess what? Somebody created, right? Somebody created this video. And I was able to then make this journal, make this notebook, have it on Amazon. I had some at my event on Saturday, and people bought them. And so somebody is sitting in their room writing into this journal, but that journal did not just magically appear. It came to life somehow. So for every dream that needs to be achieved, support is needed. And it's a question of whose support do I need? And sometimes it's you need support of different people at different stages of your dream. I remember one time with a coaching client, and she mentioned this dream that she had, and we started taking steps. She started taking steps, and I was in a position where I was holding her accountable. And
Mhm.
after a while, she said, "You know what? I need to take some time out from the coaching, and let me go away and try and bring this to life." And it probably, like, it was over a year, maybe over 2 years. And then one day I get a message from her. She said, "You will not believe I signed the contract today." And I was so excited for her, because I remember our first coaching session when she said, I would like to do this.
That is a dream coming true.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
So for some, it might be that you need someone to support you along the way. You know, maybe you need a coach, a mentor. Maybe you need someone to financially pour into your dream. Maybe you need people that can help you with your research or to do some testing. Whatever it is you need, like whose support do you need? So first of all, like what is the dream? What is the thing that you're trying to bring to life? And then considering whose support do I need to bring this to life? Who are the experts I need in the room to
Yeah.
bring this baby out? When I gave birth to Janaya, like I had support. I did not do it by myself, believe it or not. It didn't happen by and in fact with her situation, it got to a stage where it became an emergency. And I had been warned during the classes. I was told, once something happens, we're going to press an emergency button and you will see about 20 specialists flood into the room. But don't be overwhelmed. They're here to make sure you have a safe delivery. And I was like, okay. So when it actually happened, like we went from slow pace to boom, 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 you know, and it was such a rush, but they needed to get the everyone on board, and it was this button, this alarm button, that signified we need extra support, we need more experts in the room, and they were quick on it, and they quickly rushed me into theater. Within 7 minutes of being in theater, this girl was out.
Oh,
I had
wow.
been struggling all day. Within 7 minutes of being in theater, they had pulled her out. I had my baby in my hand. I was like, why have I been struggling all day? Why did these experts come and do this thing before? But
Well,
process. And at different stages, you might need help from different people.
yeah. Yeah. Thank you for sharing that story because I know childbearing can be very, very challenging.
Mm.
And I believe that you went through a long labor. And finally, Janaya we would put it as Janaya popped out.
Well, I don't know if she popped out, she was pulled out. She was pulled out.
Yeah. So, yes, thank you. Thank you for sharing that story. One of the things that, as we talk about people, the question of people is having having a good professional network. Let's say the dream that you have in your heart. Sometimes you need to speak to people of the same space. I mean, they might have already realized that particular dream that they have. Let's say a simple thing like coming up with a book.
Mm,
And talking about coming up with a book, you might not have any clue. You might be clueless how you're going to bring forth this book. So you might go for a book writing seminar. And I believe, Elizabeth, that Tunji has a seminar coming up.
he does. So he has an entrepreneurs event coming up on Saturday, 1st of March. It's a day event with some amazing speakers. But the aim of that event is literally to take you from having an idea to actually just like allowing yourself to dream and see this idea coming to life, so that by the time you leave that place, you are motivated to go and get done with your book. But also, if you already have a book, one of the benefits of attending the event is that it will help you to see the possibilities of how you can start a business with your book,
Mm,
so your book can work for you.
yes. So a word of warning. It's a very exciting program. I attended it last year, and
Very good.
I must confess, I'm still struggling to get the book out from me. Each of us carry a book, and we
More
need
than
to get
one,
that.
Kirubai. We carry more than one book, right?
Okay, more than one. So being in the space of people in the same field who have already got their books and trying to bring the books out into spaces like Amazon to sell the book to for profit, I think that's a place to be, and that is a good place
Mm.
to do your networking, meet the right people. So it could be a book, it could be a product, it could be a service. Just be in the right space. To own
Mm.
that space, speak to others, share your vision, and get your dreams out into the open. And it's so important to be in that group of people that will help you, make you understand a little better what you have signed up for.
There you go. There you go. No, you're
Yes.
absolutely right. You need to have the right people around you, because sometimes what we don't realize is the people around us can either motivate us or they can demotivate us.
Mm.
So it's important
So,
to have the right people.
sorry. So this is my all-time favorite. Um, Following or mirroring inspirational figures. You
Mm.
know, I have been following this guy, Vince Gan. He's actually Vietnamese from Australia. He is a communicator and he's so hilarious. So, and I've been following him, trying to mirror him. But you know what? He's so hilarious. I think I can't get a quarter of his humor into my speech, but he is funny. So I have been mirroring him and following him and trying to learn some of the nuggets that he is sharing. And he's amazing. He's current and he's funny and he's very engaging, full of he's so demonstrative. So so here I'm telling you again, take someone who has realized that similar dream that you have and
Mhm.
mirror them, follow them, follow them on Instagram or Facebook or even LinkedIn or TikTok, and see how you can uh, have some ideas or improve your skill sets and realize the dream. If you want to be what should I say, the what is that word, all-time speaker, or what they call it, what do they call it, a TED Talk speaker,
Oh
TED
yeah.
Talk speaker. And you if you want to be a TED Talk speaker, then you have to mirror someone who is already done, who has gone that path, that will put shed light for you to see how you can improve yourself.
Mm.
And that's exciting, and it's so exciting because you know what, every word comes out of his mouth, and I'm just, oh, this is the way he spoke. And you know what, English is not his first language. English is his second language. A lot
Mm.
of us who have English our second language struggle with certain things. So it's exciting. So go and find somebody inspirational and follow them. Follow them to the core.
That's it. No, I like that. And I think just being able to learn from people who've gone ahead of you.
Hmm.
The one of my favorite people to listen to is Kristen Kane. Um,
Mm.
and honestly, when I hear her story, it stirs something on the inside of me. It lights up a fire on the inside of me. And the passion that she has for the things that she does. I'm just like, woman, you're an amazing example, and like, find people like that, people who inspire you, people who can light up a fire on the inside of you, people who, when you're around them, you are challenged to bring to birth. So we're not saying get into a space where you're comparing yourself, but get into a room where you're learning. There's something that John Maxwell likes to say, that if you're the smartest person in the room, you need to shift out of that room. So, what room do you need to get into so you can learn? What can you learn from the people around you? It's, sometimes we think, I've made it, I've arrived, like, I don't need to hear from anybody, or like, what can I learn from this this young person? But you just never know. And when you're open to learning, there could be a lot that you take away. Sometimes I'm always amused by like, just different generations and how different generations do things differently. And sometimes the different generations just need to come together and take the best out of every generation and use that as the way forward. Because sometimes we're slagging off, oh, but the older generation, oh, but the younger generation. Like we've not always got anything good to say, but come on, like let's celebrate the generations and take the best out of each generation and see how we can be better.
Another person, I mean, I must add this on. Another person that I'm very excited to see on stage is Action Jackson. he always, he always like, boom,
He
he's
provokes you
there,
to action.
provokes, yes, he provokes us to action. And you can't sit quietly on your seat. He's always looking to speak on someone and say, come on, rise up, So each person, Elizabeth, myself, we carry different graces when we speak as keynote speakers or sharing different thoughts in a different light, in a different manner. Some are soft, some are graceful, some are aggressive, some are pushing forward like bulldozers. But you know what? We all have always picked up something from someone else. As Elizabeth says, grow, grow in the gifts that you have by watching people and absorbing some of the energy and the graces that someone else has.
Mm,
Okay, and I know this point Elizabeth has just touched on for a bit is the having an accountability partner that will provoke you to action and keep track on your. Sometimes you might just be too tough for you to go on with your dream, but somebody to keep tabs and
mm.
to basically encourage you to run that race. And yeah, Elizabeth, is there something that you need to share? I know you have had accountability groups that you have had. Some shed some light on this, please.
Do you know what? Accountability makes a difference. So I ran the Show Up and Shine challenge, and actually
Mm-hmm.
one of the beauties of it is we have community, but we can also hold each other accountable. And the ladies know me that when they say they're going to do something, they know that Elizabeth is going to check. Like Elizabeth is going to come after them because they say they're going to do it, so she's going to hold you accountable. And I think sometimes being able to be in the right spaces, in the right community, where people can challenge you to even hold yourself accountable. So as much as you're saying it, but people can check in on you. Not that they're standing there with a whip like you didn't do it, you didn't do it, but actually they're like, have you done it? If you haven't, how can I help you? And that's one thing I always say to the ladies, like I'm here to support you. So yes, that's what you want to do. What support do you need from me? How can we make that happen? And accountability is great, I think, for all of us as human beings, because we don't always like to be held accountable. Sometimes we see accountability from the perspective of, oh, I have to report back to this person. But actually, see it from a different perspective, that this person is helping you to stay on track with your personal growth, to stay on track with the things that you're trying to achieve. So don't see it from a negative perspective, but rather see it from a positive perspective, because that person that holds you accountable can challenge you, can inspire you, can provoke you, so that you can actually accomplish the things that you have set out to accomplish. So see it from that perspective.
Wow, that's that's great. Elizabeth, these are the few points I thought it will resonate with both of us as the people question. So shall we move on to the pathway questions?
Yes, we should. We should.
Yeah.
We should.
So
Everybody needs a strategy, right?
yes, we definitely need a strategy and a plan to be to be successful in realizing our dream. So what is the pathway? What is the strategy and what is the plan that we're going to undertake to realize our dream? So Les Brown, a famous motivator, quote says, we must look for ways to be an active force in our lives.
Mm,
We must take charge of our own destinies, design a life of substance, and truly begin to live our dreams.
mm.
So, the question to you, today is, what are the plans that you have to unveil, unfold the dream that is within you?
Mm.
So, so one of the questions that we need to ask is, be specific. Be specific with clarity. What is your dream about, all about? It cannot be airy fairy. Put it down on paper and write it down and make it plain. Make the dream plain, that we
Mm.
can visualize it and see, oh, this is my dream. So, what is the path? What is the route that I need to take to get this dream realized?
You know, your strategy or your plan is so important because it also reveals your level of intention. It reveals your level of intentionality. You know, and it's funny because it just made me think, like, for example, um getting into a relationship or saying yes to your spouse that you're going to get married to. And it's like, well, what's the plan? What's the plan for our marriage? Because our marriage is not just going to be, you know, here, there, and everywhere, but like, what's the plan? How are we going to make this marriage work? How are we going to make this relationship work? And likewise with a dream that you need to bring to life, sitting down and saying, how can I bring this to life? Is important because it helps to show whether you want it or you don't want it. But what it also will help you to do is it will help you to see it better. Because as you put your plan in place or as you start to plan, it helps you to see what are the possibilities. It helps you to see what are the opportunities. It helps you to see, who do I need? It helps you to see, what resources do I need? So you sitting down to come up with a plan is actually like, it works well for you. It's not a case of, I will wake up tomorrow and que sera, whatever will be. But no, it is, tomorrow morning I'm going to wake up and this is what I'm going, these are the 5 things I'm going to do to help me make my dream a reality. This is the one thing I'm going to do every day this week to help me bring this dream to life. Being able to sit down and plan and strategize, it helps you to picture it. It helps you to have a clear path, a clear direction. You know, just using a simple analogy, right? My dream is to get from London to Manchester. Just you know, just my dream. I want to see Manchester. It's amazing. It's beautiful. I've had so many amazing things about it, right? I've actually lived in Manchester before, so hey. But no, this is just an example. So if that was a dream, right? So first of all, paint the picture. Where in Manchester? Do you just want to go to the city center, to the train station? Like, where in Manchester do you want to go? Let's be a bit more specific, and then start looking up. You can't just wake up in the morning. I'm in London. Oh, I'm in Manchester. Hello, Manchester. No. What's my plan to get to Manchester? Am I going to drive? Am I going to walk? Am I going to go by train? Am I going to cycle? What's my plan? How am I going to get there? Because that's what the strategy really is how am I going to get there? How am I going to get from where I am today to that dream becoming a reality? And you sitting down and, you know, putting the plan in place. When you're putting the plan in place, you're looking at, oh, how much is it going to cost me? Oh, who do I need to speak to? Where do I need to go? Do I need to buy my ticket? Do I need to hire a car? Like, what is it that I actually need? That's what planning will help you to do. It will help you to put certain things in place so that you can start running, so you can start taking action. You know, even the Bible encourages us to, you know, to plan. Count the cost.
Count the cost.
You don't just build
Yes,
a house.
you need to count the cost. Got to put a budget. You need to get the right people to work on your house. So everything needs planning. Who wants to manage? I mean, who wants to be the project manager of the building? So, yes, you need to put the plan in place and be specific if you want to achieve your dream. So,
Mm,
there is no magic power in having a dream. You can't wait for it. You have to work at it.
Ooh.
You got to work
You
at it.
can't wait for it. You have to work at it. I like
Yeah,
that.
you have to work at it. So, turning your dream into a compelling desire, a strong will to achieve your dream boost self-confidence and motivates help motivate you. So this compelling um, feeling that you have, oh, I need to realize this dream. And I believe last week we did speak about some of these dreams that we have. It is so compelling because you know what? God wants to bring it forth for such a time as this.
That's it.
Yeah. So that desire was not planted there for fun.
Mm.
And do not douse it with water. Let the fire be fanned in you.
That's it.
Fan the fire, fan the fire, and let it birth forth this dream.
Mm.
And you have to be resilient enough to birth this dream because it, it's going to be difficult. It is going to be tough, right, Elizabeth?
It
We have,
is.
we have, yes, we have. Some of us have gone through, and I believe Elizabeth and I have gone through certain parts that have been very painful. And today where we are is by the grace of God because it is just the tip of the iceberg because God has got more things to be unfolding through you and me. So let that compelling desire burn within you and bring it forth.
Mm. Mm. That's very that's so key because when you're working on your dream, you need that fire. You need that fire because there might be days where the doors are closing in front of you. There might be days where like you are feeling like you have tried everything that you can try and nothing is shifting. But if that dream compels you, you will stay with it
Yeah.
and you will keep running with it until
Mhm.
something changes, until something gives way, until something shifts. But what
Something
is the plan?
shifts. What is what is it that God wants to bring forth? And creating a plan of action is also very important. A timeline. If you don't put a timeline, you will never make it on time.
Mm,
A timeline is like a guard or a fence for you. It's a pathway for you, a fence for you to say, this is how I'm going to go through. And the doors will open. As you move forward, the doors will open. As you move forwards, we talked about the people question. People, God will bring the right people at your
mm,
pathway to push you and further. But there has to be a physical timeline to say, by this time I need to do this, by this time I need to do this, because we can lose our sight
mm.
because of the adversities that can come against you.
That's true.
Because there is an adversity that is chasing after all of us. But you know
Mm,
what? We are more than overcomers to overcome and to fight this battle with the Lord. And He who is faithful, who has called us, He will help us accomplish complete it. I always
yes,
believe that
well.
God is always calling us to do greater things beyond our expectations.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
You might
Exceedingly
start late,
abundantly.
like sorry, I started very late, I must say this. But you know what? I'm really realizing a lot of things in my life in my later years, in my as opposed to the former years. Probably I didn't have the right guidance, or probably I was not enthusiastic. Probably I didn't meet the right people. But you know what? God has taken me different, completely on a different route now. Excited. I'm just jumping in the train and the bandwagon and say, let me try. It's never too late.
But Kirubai, maybe for you it wasn't the right time, and
Could be.
now is the right time.
Could be.
Because we like to think that maybe if I had done it then, or if I had started off then, I would be so far now. But you wouldn't have had the knowledge you have today. You wouldn't have had the people you have around you today. So I like to think that I am just on time. We are just on time. Like, because we serve an on time God, right? He's the same yesterday, today, and forever. And sometimes we think God is late. Sometimes we think, why am I experiencing delay? But whenever God shows up, he's on time. Like, he's on time. It's not late. It's
But
not
probably
late.
I was not listening. Uh,
It's,
But you
it's
know what?
he's on time. I remember
Yes.
one time, somebody saying um that the optimum time to get married is between this age and this age. And what she was basically saying was, if you got married after that stage, you were late. And I was like, hang on, no, 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 let's not. And that was in church that it was being said. And I thought, there's a lot of mature singles in the house today. Saying a statement like that can really like take a dig at
Break
certain
someone.
people.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, but I like to think that God works with us at the rate at which we are going, at our pace, and he makes all things to work together. But we also need to work with him. And as long as we position ourselves and we work with him, things will happen as and when they need to happen. So not to be frustrated that I started late, or I this dream came to life late, but actually this is where I am now. I am here today, so let me make the most of where I am today, as opposed to looking back to what I could have missed.
I'm giving hope to all the matured women out there.
There you go. There you go. It can be done.
It can be done. And yes, I have the right support and the right people around me to help me run this race. And with that, setting goals, we talked about creating a plan and action. I think setting goals goes hand in hand with this. And that's amazing that you yourself set small achievable goals that you can monitor for yourself and say, hey, I'm lagging behind. Why? You can kind of inspect your work and see where you are lagging behind, and you can
Mm,
ask for help to for someone to help you set those achievable goals, short term, long term. And coaches are available to help you goal setting. There's Elizabeth there who's very good at that. So, and with setting those goals, I think it keeps you on track, and reviewing your progress regularly.
mm,
And um, and that's that's something that we tend to forget because we are so caught up with the fulfilling the goals that we have. We don't stand back or just relax, take a breath and say, hey, look at my progress. How have I progressed? And I was just listening to John C. Maxwell on intentional living, and he was talking about after that whole year is finished, he sits back and he reviews his whole year to see how he had progressed and what needs changing, and how he needs to be more giving more time to his wife or his grandchildren or his work. Then it gives you a clear picture. Don't meander through days. Do not meander through days aimlessly when there is a price that you need to attain. And running, as some of the translations say, running with the goal set ahead of you for that
mm,
prize that is for you. And that prize is your dream. That
mm.
is a prize, a precious prize that Jesus has given each one of us. He wants to realize the dream in us.
I love that. When we plan, We're being intentional. If there's something you want to achieve, plan for it. Make room for it in your schedule. If there's a dream you want to achieve, plan for it. If you say by the end of 2025 I want to have achieved this, I want to have done this, well, it's not going to happen by magic. You're not going to close your eyes and wake up and it's done. There's something that you're going to have to do. So what's your strategy to make that come to life? What's your plan to bring it to life? Sometimes we don't like to ask ourselves those questions, but the questions are necessary. If we're going to go forward, those questions are necessary. And I want you to think about it from the perspective of, I am building a mansion. My dream is a mansion that I'm building. When you're building a mansion, and I'm talking about building, I'm not talking about buying a mansion, I'm talking about building a mansion, right? You need a plan. You need to get an architect to sit down and like draft a plan. You need to make sure you have the resources. A foundation, a good foundation, a solid foundation needs to be laid. So before we start to see the evidence coming up, there is some work going on underneath the ground to lay the foundation. So whatever your dream is, what's the foundation that you are building on? Or what's the foundation that you're currently putting in place? And then as you're building it, you're constantly checking, does this fit with the plan? Like Kirubai said about reviewing. So you look at your architecture drawings. Does it fit in with the architecture drawings? Does this look like what I set out to achieve? Do I still have the resources I need? If not, how can I get more resources? Do I still have the right people on board supporting me to bring this to life? Being able to look like strategically ask yourself those questions can make a difference. But think of it as, this dream is a mansion that I'm building. So what do I need to put in to make this mansion come to life? You need to have a clear picture, because you can't start building until you have some idea of what it's going to look like and what you're trying to achieve. And once you start building, always keep the end picture that you have in mind at the front. Like keep it at the front of your mind. Keep it there. Let it be painted like the wallpaper in your imagination. Let it be there, so you can constantly see it, so that when you look at the foundation that's being laid, and you look at the structure that is slowly coming up, because it's process, right? As you look at the structure that's slowly coming up, you're picturing, yes, this is what it's going to look like. This is going to be here. That's going to be here. Yeah, you're picturing it, because you've painted it in your imagination. So what is that dream that you need to take a hold of, that you need to start running with, that you need to start working on? What is that dream? Have you taken time to really paint a clear picture of it? Whose support do you need to bring it to life? What steps can you start taking today? And I'm not saying you're going to achieve it today, but what steps can you start taking that will slowly and gradually lead you to that end result, to that mansion? Your dream, your vision should inspire you, should motivate you, should compel you. But it's not going to become a reality if you never take time to strategize and to plan and to paint the picture of what it needs to be. And if you never sit down to ask yourself, who do I need on my team? Who do I need in my camp? Who do I need in the room? Who do I need to connect to? Strategy also involves, being strategic with the people, isn't it? Being strategic with the people that you're sharing with, the people you're building with. I remember one time, um, Bishop T.D. Jakes preaching a message on um, building your vision or building the house. And he talked about how, when you're building, at some stage, you need scaffolding, right? But as that building comes up and as you finish the work, the scaffolding comes off. And what he was trying to say was that some people, you might not need them to the end. You might just need them for a season, and then it's time for the scaffolding to come off. And then you ask yourself, well, who are the people that I need now? Because some people can only bring you thus far. So don't get frustrated when you start to realize that someone's time's up. you know when you're building your dream, you're working on your dream. But just be strategic, realizing that if I'm going to move forward, I need fresh eyes. I need this person. At this stage, these are the people that I need. At that stage, those are the people I will need. I'm coming there, but I'm still here right now. Process. Strategy will consider process. As you're putting in place a strategy, you are being conscious of the process to get to the finish line. What is that dream that you need to bring to life? That vision that you need to bring to life? Kirubai, I think those were my last words for today.
Well done, my dear. So, just in closing, I think let me share a quote from the book, and we will we'll say goodbye. Mark Twain says, "The secret of getting ahead is getting started.
Hmm.
The secret of getting started is breaking your personal complex, overwhelming tasks into small, manageable tasks, and then starting on the first one."
Hmm.
So, breaking down, don't get overwhelmed. It is similar to writing the book. I
Hmm.
always remember Tunji says, write the first 500 words, and then it will get easier and easier. So, ladies and gents, my dear brothers and sisters who are watching, start. Take the first step of starting on your dream and pursuing it to the end, and not forgetting that you are carrying something that's going to be so valuable to many on earth.
Hmm.
Bye for now.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you for joining us today. And if you're watching on the replay, let us know in the comments. Say hello. And share it with somebody that you think needs it. Once you've listened to it, share it with somebody else who you think could really benefit from this. And if there's any way that myself or Coach Kirubai can support you on your journey of making your dream a reality, please feel free. Don't hesitate to get in touch with us. And let's have a conversation. Let's see how we can partner with you to make your dream, your vision a reality. God bless you.
God bless you. Good night.